Hello everyone! Welcome to a new episode of Moving to Night City, a build show where I take people, places, and things from other franchises and bring them into the universe of the tabletop role-playing game Cyberpunk Red. During this episode, I bring the Allay from Minecraft into the world as a personal drone. Enjoy! Alright, so this little guy is who we're going to port over next. We're just going to copy and paste this from the Minecraft wiki for the most kind of like accurate thing. They're a flying passive mob that collects and delivers items for any player that gives it something or any no block it hears recently playing. Actually, if it hears a no block, it just kind of dances. So it's more it delivers items for a player that gives it something. Essentially, you give it an item, any item in Minecraft, and it carries it in this little hands. And if any other item that it finds that's similar, so if you give it a dirt block, it finds any other loose dirt blocks, it picks them up and it brings them to the player and hands it to them. That is its function at its very, very core. It is bright, it's luminous, it's very small, and it generally stays within 64 block area. And searches for items within 32 blocks. So it collects things and returns them. And my thought with the Allay, and I should probably go through my checklist just to make sure, but my thought is it could be essentially a loot drone. For those of us who don't have time to loot things during or after combat, it would just go about and collect things for you, no matter what those things are. But let's go through the list of what options we could have. I suppose they could be a gang, a type of like scavenger gang. Given that they're passive mobs, I'm not going to say Cyber Psycho. The Allay could be the handle of a government official, or politician. Maybe that's focused on I wanted to say like cleanup. There's a word. Like sanitation department, we'll say, maybe. Or salvage yards. Or I suppose that would be more for not government official, politician, corporation. Kind of like an automated garbage man, yes. Although only at very specific things. But yes. It could be the handle of a tech. Because techs do a lot of like going and getting things and bringing them in, or a fixer. I could see that. Even a nomad. Clothing, not so much. The Allay could be the name of a like a salvage parts store. Kind of like a bits and bobs type place. I don't think it would be an animal or a pet. It's definitely more a drone-like, I think. So that's what I'm going to stick it with. That's what I'm going to, you know, going to keep it with. Could it be an agent or an app? I suppose it could be an agent app that scans for like that scans an area for like a specific item. Could do. Not really armor. Don't see it as cyberware, but again, if I'm going through this list and you have any ideas, please post them in the chat. Or comments below, let me know. Doesn't really make sense as a cyber deck or any sort of program because you don't need to go and find things. 100% it could be a drone, and we know this, and I'm very tempted to make it a drone. Not a drug, not food, not generic piece of gear, instruments. I suppose it could be a sport. Some type of sporting event. It could be a vehicle or a vehicle upgrade. You know, especially if it's an upgrade that if you program it to, say, pick up like sort of a vacuum, or man, if they're little like drone things, you could put as an item like that circle your vehicle within so many things. If they run over like bullets or something, they could go and pick them up. I don't know if that would, like, as a vehicle upgrade, I feel like there would just be like kind of like one attachment, and it would have to be like you'd have to drive the vehicle within maybe 4 meters of that specific item for it to collect, to suck up. Not a weapon, not weather. Okay. I think I'm going to turn this into a drone. I've opened the Interface Red Volume 1, which you guys should go pick up if you don't have it. And I was scrolling through, because it has the special article all about drones. And I'm going to use the Transporter drone from Interface Red Volume 1 as kind of my template to start with, and we can build up from there. Because the Transporter is like kind of the delivery drone, but this is going to be a small drone, a small flying drone. With a set of gripping arms, trying to think. I'm looking at the description, and it says with 4, like this one says, you know, with 4 rotors. I don't know that I need to specify how the LA flights. I suppose it could have one, maybe one little rotor. Oh no, the Observer has with 4 rotors. This is roughly the size of a Cyberpunk Red Jumpstart kit. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking like the hoverboard, like vent. Isn't that how that flies? Where is the hoverboard? In black chrome. Jetboy. The Jetboy hoverboard. 2 turbines built into the deck. So I think that's it. I think I just want like a little turbine underneath him that keeps him aloft. Maybe, or I guess I could do the 4... I want to keep it like the other ones. I could do the 4 rotors. They're just kind of, they look like wings. That's also possible. Because if I look at the picture of the Observer... But I want him to be a little... But I want him to be smaller. So... You know what? He just won't go, you know, unlike the Elaids that can fly very far into the sky, he'll stay mostly low to the ground. Or player height, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I can do what I want. So, next is equipped with the following. We want an observation camera, obviously, and gripping arms. Now the one on the transporter, it says it can carry up to 30 pounds. I don't think the LA can carry that much. I'm gonna say it can carry up to 10 pounds. Some can carry like one object. Oh, no. Because they can carry this. Oh, I forgot about that. They can carry multiple things. So it is probably that 30-pound thing. I think it might also need a holding container. So, you know what? Let's say the gripping arms can carry up to 10 pounds. I don't know what that is in kilograms. I'll figure it out. But the body also has hollow body that acts as a holding container. The holding container can hold up to 30 pounds, or was it 13.5 kilograms? Yeah. Okay, and then we need to figure out its data. So the transporter has a 6 move. And so does the observer. But I feel like because they have 4 rotors and we're just doing it with a turbine, that they're going to be slower. So it has a 4 move, and allays are pretty slow. As someone who had to move them, oh my gosh, are they ever freaking slow. HP, I would say probably about the same as an observe. Well, it does have like probably that reinforced body, so we'll say it's the same as the transporter with 20 HP. It is linked to an agent. Has to be linked to an agent. And I'm going to copy the same thing for the transporter, which is a DV21 Alexec tech skill check, which takes 5 minutes to counter. Okay, so the allay must be linked to an agent, a process that takes 5 uninterrupted minutes. Interrupted minutes, and both the agent and allay must remain within 6 meters yards of the drone of each other during that time. Okay. Don't know. Yeah, it doesn't have to stay within 6 meters, like, just within that first linking, because its whole, like, the whole purpose of this is that, these drones fly around the city and deliver packages. So sticking with a person doesn't make sense. So it's just within that time. And then I'm going to just copy, paste this, so countering a, except we're going to say an allay. Requires 5 minutes. The counter must stay within 6 meters of the drone the entire time. If counter the drone can be made to release any held item and or items within its what did I call it? Holding container? The allay can be linked to a new agent. I'm not gonna say as with an action, because if it takes 5 minutes to link it to the base thing, you can't link it to. I'm gonna say that you can't do it as an action. I'm just gonna move that. And of course the allay has 3 operation modes: standby, auto, and direct control. System modes does not require an action. I'm okay with that. So we have standby, oops, auto, and a direct control. So standby, We'll say the allay, you know, floats in. I'm trying to think if I wanted it in a docking station or something. Actually, let me pull up. We have an interface for volume 4. Corporate Condos and Studio Apartments. Jay added the Anteater drone. So it's scheduled, and then otherwise it just sits in this docking bay. No, I think this has to be this. Floats within a 2-meter. Space. So floats within a single square space, making cute noises. Because why not? It cannot move beyond that space, and it cannot dodge attacks. When it's on auto mode... Oh, I suppose I should put, like, mode in there. When not being directly controlled... a user, oops, can instruct an allay to collect a specific item via agent. And return and deliver as many of that item it finds within a, what do we want to say, 20 meter per yard, 20 cents. Radius of the back to the user. I think that's about right. And then while in this mode, the allay cannot dodge attacks. It's for direct control. Okay, I'm going to... The drone can be controlled via its linked agent using an action the same manner as Netrunner using the interface ability. Control. When controlled directly, all attacks and defenses are made using the user's own skills, as if they were firing with a weapon in their own hands and dodging with their own body. Cannot dodge ranged attacks no matter how high the user's reflex is. Oh yeah, see, and then the transporter can travel to any location with access to the city net, and its linked agent are connected to. So that would be the same. So for page 199 of the core rulebook, controllability allows you to control things, test architectures. Does DV require to take control of it? That does not exist. Operating each individual thing attached to the node requires a separate net action once you've taken control. Can be done from anywhere in the architecture as long as you're still in control of the control node. Okay. I'm going to say using an action, a user can directly control the allay via its linked agent when controlled directly. You know what, I'm just going to take that, because that's the same. So all attacks and defenses are made using the users. My goodness. Well, attack skills if they refine the weapon in their own hands, dodging with their own body. However, well, it's not transporter. We're gonna say an allay cannot dodge ranged attacks, no matter how high the user's reflex is. I think, except I want to say, it says all attacks and defenses are made using their own skills. You know what? I don't think we need the rest of that. I'm wondering if I should put, because it's got the grabby hands, right? And Allay can grab things. Using the Allay to make a grab action would be great, but it would need a specific input. And I feel like I'm gonna have to word this specifically. So like, if you say, go find me bullets, I think it would be like, you would have to specify like the round caliber, not necessarily like the type. Or could you be as generic as just go and find me bullets? If you say, you know, pistols, and it comes across a pistol in someone's hand, I feel like would it try to take it? It doesn't in Minecraft. However, this is the dark future, and the idea of this little drone kind of flying around using the grab action to try to take guns away from your enemies is pretty hysterical. It could, though, in theory, because it doesn't differentiate, right? It's just an item. It could also steal items from your own team, right? Unless you are directly in control of it. So if the item in question is in the hands of an individual, there we go. The Allay uses the grab action I don't think I have like a combat number. So so we'll have to put that here. Combat. I feel like I want to say demon is what, 15? It's got a net architecture and the demon's like controlling it. Isn't it a base 15? But the layers are small, so we're gonna say 13. To attempt to take the item unless directly controlled, the delay will take from anyone, including friendlies. And then I guess we should say also that the GM decides which direction the delay moves on its turn while in this mode. Okay, so it says maybe it has an internal safety you need to make a tech roll to disable if you want it, try and ganking loop for people. I think with the grab action, it's fine. Because it would... The grab action is a brawling versus evasion. It's no different than a person doing it. You're just using the Allays combat number versus your direct control. Direct control, obviously, you would use yours. I'm wondering, though, if 13 might be too high for this little drone to take it. If I should drop that to, like, a 9. So, like, 9 plus dice roll. Because that's not the point, but if if that happens, that's hilarious. Especially if you accidentally take it from your own teammate. I think that'd be hilarious. He's just having a drone just ganking stuff is pretty funny, and would be pretty fun to see people getting freaked out by the sight of this cute little drone flying around because they wouldn't know it might be there to steal their stuff. Yeah, you don't know if it's like scanning the ground or, you know, looking for who knows what. Maybe it's just looking for loose ebb, like loose money on the ground and picking it up. Or if it's there trying to take your stuff. You don't know. You don't know what it's been programmed to collect. And then the last thing I'm going to take from the transporter information is an allay. Actually, no, because the allay has to stay within you. So that's fine. I do want to say that, like, if the drone's connection to the agent, I guess, is disrupted, and it's not being taken over for direct control or whatever for some reason, like there's a blackout, it will land harmlessly on the ground and await reconnection or retrieval. And then, of course, each unit has 48 hours of operational time before it needs to be charged for an hour. I think that's good. So essentially, it goes around and it picks up things and it brings it to the user with or I guess it brings it back to the agent. I think that makes the most sense. Let me take this back to, let's say linked agent, which in theory You know, you could toss that agent to, with the right athletic skill, your agent to a different player, and have the allay drop off whatever you're collecting. We'll say allay drones come in a variety of bright neon colors. And while they do not give off any light, they are easy to spot. So there we go. I feel like somehow I would have to... it would take me some time to write down the specifics of, you know, a specific item. I need to word that a lot better. You know what, I'm just gonna say collect a type of item? Collect a type of or a specific item. Because I feel like you could either say, go collect, like EB, like the specific size paper, whatever that's used, you know, as currency. Or you could say, go collect any skill chips you find on the ground. You don't know what those skill chips are, but you could say skill chips. Or if you were super specific, you could say, go collect this specific type of gun. Versus just saying, like, assault rifle. So I think you could do one or the other. You could either upload a very specific thing, or you could make it a little more generic. Collect a generic type of item. Oops. Or a very specific item. Yeah. Changing the item it's looking for requires an action. So if you get into combat and you wanted to, you know, if they're all, you know, a couple people are using, or maybe, you know, you don't want to face melee weapons, so you're like, take this, look for baseball bats and take it out of this hand or whatever, and then you do successfully, you know, take the baseball bat off of an NPC, they switch to pistols, and you want to change it to be like, take any, you know, pistols. That's going to require an action. I also feel like I need to specify the holding container and how big it is, because like the holding container in this tiny little lay is not going to be able to store a bat. Even though the bat's not 30 pounds, it cannot store a bat in its body because the body is too small. So oh, I guess, you know what, because the counter takes 5 minutes, maybe that's why they could change the linked agent with an action, because they've already spent the 5 minutes countering it. I'm gonna leave it as is. I feel like it could be a very handy drone for a media, not just because of like the observation camera, which I'm sure you could upgrade to have a recording aspect to it, or maybe the observation cameras come with a recording aspect, I can't remember. But if you wanted to like go and grab evidence without necessarily you being seen, you could take direct control and get whatever it is that you need to have. Now granted, this thing is super frickin' bright, but also if you send it onto into a thing and people are looking at this like brightly colored drone, it could be a great distraction as you sneak in and you get that item while it's off, you know, collecting wreckage pieces. Who knows? Either way, a little stealth buddy and collector of things. But there you go, and that's what it would look like. It would have this like big little eyes for its observation camera and just kind of happily float around carrying things. And I feel like since it can grab, it could probably also, depending on like if there was like a dedicated server room with those, you know, like the hard drives, it could just pull one of those right out. Probably not great, but it could. Could be used to steal paintings, like artwork, sculptures, instruments, since it can hold up to 30 pounds. There's a lot of havoc this little guy could do for better or worse. Yeah, I had this imagery of it going around stealing people's hats like headwear. I guess you could do that. You could tell it to take heads or like headwear, especially if it's... You might have to increase the range if you're a sniper, but if someone's wearing like head armor, just have a little like try to steal their armorjack head armor, and then the sniper could just go pew pew. It's practical, but also just the imagery of being in a bar and having a lay steal people's hats was really funny to me. So practical and comedic, depending on who you are and how you want it to work. Thank you all so much for watching this episode of Moving to Night City. I'm curious to know if you'd use this drone in your games. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you want to watch full, lightly edited videos of the entire livestream, they are available to select Patreon members and release 1 week early. To become a member, head to patreon.com/Jessiper. If you'd like to keep up with me and my other content, follow me on Patreon or Blue Sky. That's all for this episode of Moving to Night City. Take care of yourselves, stay safe, and until next time, meow for now.